Before working with me, George's business wasn't showing up on Google at all in our area. George has this amazing custom cabinet business, like amazing, and he's been building these cabinets for over 20 years. But the problem is that he moved to a new area and had to re-establish his business. He was able to live off of some existing projects for a while, but eventually the leads dried up. He tried traditional networking, knocking on doors, but it just wasn't enough. George and I crossed paths, we hit it off, and I ended up building him this really awesome website. But unfortunately, like a lot of websites in competitive spaces, his website was showing up about the 4th page of Google. And I don't know about you, but when was the last time you went to the 4th page of Google to work with somebody? Now, a little behind the scenes, George was actually my first SEO client. I remember being so nervous to show up to his shop and pitch him on my new local SEO services. But as I looked around the shop, it was empty. And so as I told George this idea that I had to help him grow his business, he was rightfully skeptical. But George trusted me, and a year later, well, I'll let George tell you how things turned out.
On a monthly basis, that Sam's efforts in website development and SEO optimization for Woodworks by George would easily equal $25,000 to $35,000.
So how did George go from being completely invisible on Google to showing up on the first page in the map pack and pulling in $20,000 to $30,000 per month on jobs just from Google? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to tell you in this video, and it's only going to take 3 steps. And first, we're going to get started with the Google Business Profile, which you can see George ranking for first in the map pack right here. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go into that profile and you want to fill it out completely. Make sure you have every single option filled out. And it's really important that you have each one of your secondary categories filled out. That is so important. If you have a physical location like George does, make sure that the location is correct and the pin is in the right spot. And if you're a service area business, because let's say maybe you're a home service business like a plumber or electrician, you're going to set it as your home, but you're going to make your address not publicly visible, okay? And that means you won't have the pin, but that's okay because Google still serves up service area businesses. Don't believe me? I'm a service area business, and look, we're showing up in the map pack. Now, probably the most important thing to do once you get your GBP fully set up and optimized is to get a steady stream of high quality reviews that include your keywords and the service areas that you serve. Sounds kind of hard, but it's actually pretty easy. And that's totally what we did with George. And that's what's helped him show up in the map pack consistently for some of his really competitive keywords, even sometimes showing up for stuff like bathroom remodel and kitchen remodel. So what you're looking at here is our agency analytics dashboard. So it's pulling in Google Business Profile data. And so what you can see here is how many times his GBP is getting viewed on Google each month. We see that nice, steady up and to the right trend. And look at that massive increase year over year, 358% increase. Love that. And what's really awesome for George is this was one of the first places he started to see results, was he was getting phone calls from the Google Business Profile. So don't forget to fill out the secondary categories for all of your services, because that can be super helpful, and start getting those reviews right away. And don't forget to tell them to include images, especially if you're a home service business provider. Okay, so now that you have your GBP set up, you really want to start working on your website, because that's going to help you rank for even more keywords, potentially in more areas, and can really help move potential leads into paying clients. And I was shocked to see this one myself. Usually George is like right here in the top 4 all the time, but today he happens to be showing up first, and that's amazing. And so he's usually showing up somewhere in these 4 slots. This is the first time I've ever seen him first. These are really big established businesses that he's ranking up against. And remember, he wasn't even showing up at all, even about 12 months ago. So this is crazy results. Now, it's super important to create a well-designed website, but we can get totally lost in the weeds on website design, worrying about conversions, worrying about SEO. You also need to worry about things like privacy and accessibility. Don't get stuck in the weeds, okay? Let's really just focus on the basics right now. And today we're going to talk about the bones of the website. I believe that Google really rewards a well-structured website. You need these 5 pages no matter what. You need your home page, which is what you're looking at right now. You need an about page where you can talk about the EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust of the founder of the company or the business itself. Obviously a contact page where you're probably going to be collecting leads. You also want to have a service page And it's usually good to have one other page. In this case, I would recommend having like a projects if you're a home service business provider. And so this gallery page gets a ton of traffic, and people love to go through here and look at some of George's projects. And man, some of these are really good. Now to go to the next level, you don't just want a service page. That's where a lot of web designers really drop the ball. You want to make sure you have an individual service page for each service you provide. A lot of home service providers offer multiple services, and so you want to have a page for each one of those services that you offer. For George, we originally built pages for custom cabinets, shelving, carpentry, custom furniture, restoration, and doors. These were the pages he already had on his old website, which was located in his last location, so it made sense to duplicate those pages. Plus, there was some search traffic behind each one of those services. But eventually, we sat down, we talked about the strategy, and he said, well, you know, Sam, kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels are actually where I make a ton of money. And so we started to work on those pages, and now we're working on adding featured projects now that he's done a few in this area, so that way we can mention the neighborhoods where those were built and specific keywords like vanities or islands depending on the pages. And we can add specific testimonials for each service from that location. That's a real level up that you can add to those pages. The last step would be to build location pages. You want to try to rank for those locations that are around you. Now, a lot of old SEO advice will tell you to just pop in like a service area section right here that has the names to the cities. I don't think that really works like it used to. And so what we've done is we've actually snuck in some location pages here. And now check this out. When we look up custom cabinets, Redmond, Oregon, which is the town right next to us, and we get past those sponsored results, there he is, number 3 right there. And what's crazy is we were able to build that page super easily, and we haven't touched that page since. We could definitely go in and refine that and maybe even rank number 1 for it, but there's not a ton of search traffic, so we really focus on Bend for this client. Now, the great thing for George is, in fact, all 3 of these turned into projects for George. And this is exactly why George is able to pull in that $20,000 to $30,000 worth of jobs just from Google. It's leads like this that he's getting from Google from his website. But if we actually go to Google Search Console and we're really looking at the results, and these are the views on Google over time, going from showing up 16 times per day to showing up over 300 times per day, there's this real big switch right here. What's happening there? Because we were ranking like 11th or 12th for custom cabinets, but we were stuck there. And that's because we still need to build authority. And the way you do that is through backlinks. Backlinks are like Google's votes of confidence. And the whole thing is you want to make sure you get more authority than your competition. If you're in home service, unfortunately, you're probably in a competitive space, but if you're working with the right SEO company, they will be able to guide you on this journey. Here's what we focused on for George: locally relevant and industry relevant backlinks. By getting George listed on some of the industry relevant websites like House and Home Advisor, that shows Google that he is a home service provider. And then getting him on directories that show that he's a local business, things like, surprisingly enough, Yellow Pages and MapQuest. What year is it? This shows Google with full confidence that this is a home service business that is in a local area. Of course, we made sure all that stuff matched up, even though the NAP, name, address, phone, isn't as important as it used to be. And then we worked our way down the list, looked at the competitors' backlinks, stole some of those, and we kept going. And that's what really caused this graph to go up over time. Because remember, the first thing you have to do is figure out what people are searching for on the way to your business. Those are your keywords you want to rank for. Then you want to have pages that rank for those specific keywords. Those are probably your service or your location pages. And then you want to start ranking higher over time. That's where the authority comes in. That's where backlinks come in. It's not about getting the most, it's about getting the best. That's what we've done for George. And that is when things started to go bananas. And a little bit after that is when we had that video recorded where he said that nice little soundbite. Now, every single strategy that I shared with you today is exactly what took George from empty shop to full shop. And in fact, he's even looking at expanding his shop into a new space. And of course, he has assistants that are helping him finish these jobs now. George's business is once again thriving, and the city of Bend is blessed with amazing custom cabinets. That kind of growth is not luck. It's because George trusts an SEO company that followed the strategies that we use to help him rank higher and help his business grow. So if you're ready to take your small business's online presence to the next level, you have two options. You can start today by watching our 40-minute Google Business Profile Masterclass for 2025 and start DIYing your SEO strategy. That video will be here in just a second. Or you can go to thencandesigns.com/SEO, click that orange button, fill out that quick little form, and what I'll send you back is a 10-minute video. It'll look something like this, probably without the lights, and I'll break down your next 3 SEO actions so you can get started in a guided fashion. Now, not every business qualifies for this, but please go fill out that form and see if you qualify today. And I will say that the majority of the clients that worked with us in 2024 started by filling out that form. And depending on how long they've worked with us, they're starting to see some George results themselves. Either way, whether you decide to DIY your SEO or work with an SEO company, don't wait, because if you're not taking action, your competitors are. So follow the link in the description to get your free SEO strategy video. Our 2025 GBP Masterclass is right here. You're gonna crush 2025, and I'll catch you in the next video.